Now, we have the George Wiley Center. You know, a lot of times we're dealing with folks that are in crisis, and a lot of what we do revolves around utilities. And if someone has a dispute with National Grid, now it's Rhode Island Energy, you are able to request an informal hearing at the Division of Public Utilities. Now, if my understanding is correct, the division has been granted a budget for 4 consumer agents, and those are the folks that you call to request an informal hearing. However, there's only 3 that are currently working right now. So that's for all of Rhode Island, and within that 3, only one of them is able to speak Spanish. So that's a lot to shoulder. And again, they're budgeted for 4 positions. Now, unfortunately, it seems like this is not just a problem isolated to the Division of Public Utilities. And I understand, you know, there's, as you know, a legislator, you're one unit in a body, and there's only so much one person can do. But it seems like a lot of our departments turn into political favor factories. And I'm just wondering what, as you know, a legislator, can be done to bring about oversight for issues such as this.
So, I mean, obviously we do have a committee on oversight. But I think the first part of your question is where there's 4 that were added, there's only 2 that are on, or 3 that are on?
Yeah, there's 3, but they're budgeted for 4, and they have been for multiple years.
So, and so now you said there's only one person that speaks Spanish, or there's none that
That's
speaks
correct.
Spanish?
There's just one within the 3.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously the oversight is there, and then I'm sure, you know, Steve and some of the folks in here, they do go to these oversight meetings. We do call them in, and we do try to hold them accountable. The PUC, of course, they're supposed to be there to, you know, to protect the ratepayers.
Yes.
But most of the time it goes the other way around. I mean, you know, the rates, you know, they set the rate for these big companies. And I had, you know, one of my first races was I think I won on that particular debate because that mere fact that the person that we had at the PUC voted every single time to increase the rate. And again, this goes back some time ago. But I mean, we do have a committee of oversight. I mean, I would definitely look into making sure that our community is so diverse today that, I mean, they should at least be bringing the other person on. But you're right. There's other departments who have the same DCYF, DHS, all have the same problem. And then we're trying. You know, we have oversight on DCYF and DHS. OHSS, and all those agencies have this similar problem. So we're bringing them in and talking to them, find out what's the impediment to getting these people on.
I would just add that the kind of problem that you described and you acknowledge is a problem in several parts of sort of state administration. But these problems aren't new problems either. They've been in the news for a long time. The under-resourcing, the understaffing of agencies, whether it's handling unemployment claims or consumer agents helping folks with utility hearings. And I think the issue is, why do these problems persist? Is it just a funding issue? Is it a recruitment problem? If we're doing oversight, why hasn't that oversight changed the situation yet? So that's where I would want to emphasize some new problem solving.
I mean, the issue that Ms. Stewart talks about, I mean, oversight. It basically says you bring the DCYF in and you ask them why this is happening. And DCYF, no less, works for the government. The directors, all the top people are put in there by the governor. So, they're the one that develops their budget and everything else and bring it to us for us to review. So when we look at it, we ask questions, and they tell us what we want to hear. Once the budget is approved, then the next year we hear these stories. I mean, so there is only so much that we can do. And I think the governor, look at how many folks, directors of agencies we have sort of cycled through. Because there is a recruitment issue, there's a retention issue, there's an overload of social worker issue. They have way too many cases but we put in more money to actually get in more folks, more social workers, so to take the weight off of these other folks who are out there. So we're doing some of that stuff. It isn't easy, and it isn't something that's going to be ASAP.
So you said that they bring it in front of you, but do you think it would create jobs if you had somebody to look instead of it coming to you and y'all not doing anything? Just hands up, don't shoot. If you had somebody that could look into it, could you create jobs?
Look into what?
Instead of just what they're bringing you, and later on it's not good.
Well, I think there's been issue about an inspector general. There's been a lot of different ideas thrown about and how do you go about looking for cost saving in these departments. Where inefficiency exists. But